And welcome back to the action. We're on the sofa with the four amigos. Yeah. How are you doing, guys? You okay, Ben?
I feel like we've already won.
Zoe?
I'm excited.
Well, down at the other end, boys.
We're rocking that 8-point average. So.
And have you had some drinks this morning? Have you had any refreshments?
A glass of juice.
You had a glass of juice to start the day? That's a great way to start the day. Listen, guys, you're looking really impressive. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, we flew 15 minutes together before this, so we're rocking it. Having a lot of fun.
I mean, the first time I saw you guys doing VFS, well, it was you and Zoe. You were just kind of like controlling the whole thing. But now it's looking almost like a team, Zoe.
Yeah, I control everything. No, Ben, we need Ben. Ben helps. He's the VFS guru.
But you've had a bit of a meteoric rise in your tunnel flying. I remember when you were like just doing a bit of belly flying, and here you are now VFS.
I know. I would like to try and learn dynamic a little bit so that I can fly with these guys a little bit more. But to compete, I know that I can fly head down, and so that I can be part of a competition, I need to do VFS, and I love it. And it's really good fun. It's really good fun.
And you guys, let's start with your two-way, with what we're seeing from your action with your two-way dynamic. Really enjoying that too.
Yeah, thank you. We're glad to be here for Dynamic, and it was really exciting whenever Zoe asked me to be on this team. So glad I get to be here all day and be part of the action.
Julian, going into your second season here in Ampere Brava, been a big change in your life. You're absolutely on form right now. You're loving it, eh?
Oh yeah. It's a perfect place to be for me. It's gives me all the chances that I wanted. I'm very happy here.
1,200 jumps last year. That's nice, actually. Carry on. I like it. 1,200 jumps. Oh, please, seriously. 1,200 jumps last year.
Yeah. That's keeping my average up over the last couple of years.
And Ben, you're just busy with everything, eh? You just never stop. You just this, that, and the other. What's going on? Tell me about your 2018. What have you got lined up?
I mean, the big end goal is the World Cup in Bahrain, but doing some coaching with my brother and visiting Bahrain every other month, and I don't know, everything else I can, hanging out with my wife as much as I can, you know. Love you, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
Hi, Jen! Oh, she's so pretty. She's so gorgeous. She's so cute.
Agreed. She's super hot.
Yeah.
That's my wife.
Too hot for you, mate.
Yeah, you should probably, you're right, don't tell her that, though.
What about this competition? There always seems a really good atmosphere here at Wing Games, Zoe.
Oh, it's brilliant. Obviously, we had Flight Fighters back in December, which was really awesome. But the competition of the year's got to be Win Games. If you're competing and you're not a high level, or you're a high level, you still got to be here.
And in October there, we've got the World Meet in Bahrain. Any big surprises, any news for us about that?
But you're just going to have to wait and see. It's all a surprise. All a surprise. Yeah, it's all in the makings right now. Lots of planning happening, lots of meetings, lots of budget. The list is endless. But hopefully it's going to be an exciting competition.
Mega, for sure. For sure it's going to be mega competition. Those guys know how to do it right.
Mega, for sure. From us here on the sofa, we'll see you all back in the studio very shortly. Yay! Woo!
Si realmente crees en ello, cualquier cosa es posible.
And a very warm welcome back. It is the 2nd of February here in Ampere Brava, Spain, Wing Games 2018. Thank you very much for Leslie Gale with her expert analysis there with the FS and the VFS. And it's me and Ray back on. Where are we at, Ray? What's going on next?
Well, we just saw round 4 of the VFS, which flew by as you're just speaking to the four amigos there on the old couch. And we're up to round 4 now for the FS female and the FS Open.
Yeah, I just took my break and I didn't see the last round. Was there any big surprises there in the FS?
Well, so we did see a very fast round. It was a triple blocker from both Airspeed and from Hayabusa. And me and Leslie are kind of in between as to I put that down to Airspeed and Leslie put her money on Hayabusa. So it's going to be interesting to see. Next in, we currently, if you're watching at home, we have the Vosvin girls in. And this round is PCF 16. So that's 3 randoms and a slot switching block in the 16, but it's a quick block. So this is really going to suit the trained teams, and I think it's going to be a pretty fast round, one of the faster rounds of the competition. And the girls are very tidy flyers. You know, the Vosvin girls are getting used to being on the big stage and not being in like Bedford where it's a lot more enclosed. You know, they're not used to seeing so many people around them, and this is really good for them. You know, this flying in new suits as well. I just had a little chat. I think it was Vilda. She turned around and said, you know, these suits are very powerful. And we're just getting used to them, and so no, they're getting there. Very good. It's a good round from the Vosvin girls. They're getting stronger and stronger.
Out the girls, we've got the Vosvin girls for 2 rounds on 19. We've got NFTO from the UK on 45, and the French girls up in the lead with 50 points.
Yeah. So yeah, no, this is a really good competition. I mean, we've had, you know, NFTO are newly formed, like with Debs joining the team, and you know, and Kath on the team as well. And the French girls, interestingly, Pamela's not been able to attend because she's unwell. But I was just saying to Leslie earlier in the rounds, it's amazing that, you know, the French girls can pull in an alternate so quickly and also fly so well.
Yeah, and just a reminder, it is Kath Anderson on this team on NTFO. It was announced to be Kate earlier on. A bit of a mistake there.
Sorry, Kath. Kath, who has a pet rabbit. That's all I can tell you. A very cute pet rabbit. Here we go. In the door. Nice.
This looks good, eh? The random work is amazing.
Yeah, and you know it's going to work really well because we've got Anna moving to outside centre, Varna inside, controlling the pace. You know, Varna for many years has been flying outside centre. So, you know, you get a real appreciation when you move from being an outside to inside centre. It's really nice to just be able to be there and control the pace and see everything. And it's, you know, it's going to work really well for this team. It's the best orientation for them, I think. And it's, look at it, it's motoring through.
And Anna Hicks working hard out in the Middle East, especially at Skydive Dubai, with the up-and-coming belly jumpers putting together 4-way camps. Just had one last weekend there, really bringing on the local skydivers.
That was a fantastic round from NFTO. They'll be pleased with that. Look at that, smiles as they come out the tunnel. You know, they're not really pushing the pace at the moment, not yet. They're obviously an outdoor team. Predominantly, but they want to put their best on. There we go. There's a view of Gail there. They're the alternate for the Wimby French girls. Focus and see what they've got.
It's a great shot, this, from that camera just in the antechamber before they enter. Really get the emotion in the faces.
It's fantastic. Go. Good view of Clementine's face, getting ready. And they're off. Good start on level. I mean, obviously this kind of round is probably going to suit one of the trained teams more, so I expect to see the scores between NFTO and the French girls a little bit closer on this round, solely because they have an alternate as an outside centre that's really important to controlling the pace in the middle of the skydive, but they're motoring through. Oh dear, there's a little bit of a where am I moment on the grips there. It's continuing through into this page. They are going at such a pace that nice 16s. Brilliant round for the French girls. Maybe a few hiccups there, so we should see the scores between NFTO and the French girls a little bit closer, I think, on that round.
Interesting stuff. There's the open category and round 4, isn't it now? Round 4?
Yeah, round 4, yeah. Motoring through.
Going into the open now, and as it stands at the moment, after 2 rounds of scores, in 5th place, Echo Chamber on 5-0. In 4th place, Qatar Tigers on 52, 1 point ahead on 53. Rio Fly Zion, and at the top 2, Arizona Airspeed on 55, and Hayabusa 2 points to the lead on 57.
It's super exciting. it's good to see that, you know, that as I was saying this we were talking about it earlier, it's like Airspeed have like been quietly doing their thing, you know, and it's nice to to see them, especially on that last round on round 3, that they're really pushing Hayabusa. It's good for Hayabusa to have the competition, but also this is kind of on like Hayabusa's home turf, so it's interesting times. Now in the tunnel at the moment we should have Los Poristos from France. So I got a bit confused because I thought with that name they would be Spanish, but they're in fact a French team. So
It sounds very Spanish, doesn't it? Poristos.
yes, exactly. So we're just looking at the French teams in general, like how they're getting on, and Los Perritos. Can't see them in the leaderboard and how they're getting on.
I'll find that for you. Just click through on the system there. Let's have a look.
Oh, that'd be why. So Los Perritos have been scored for their round 3, and they got 15 on that round. Now we have in the tunnel, we should have another French team, BE Air Force. Big smiles.
Yeah, Poristos, 18 on round 1, 15 on round 2, 15 on round 3 for the French team there. Los Poristos, so quite consistent, really.
Yeah, very good. So now we have another French team, BE Air Force.
Yeah, on their 2 rounds, 13 on round 1 and a 14 on round 2 for this team.
It's interesting because now we can see with this team that when they turn the block 16, that if the back piece it's quite a delicate block, and it has to be well trained because the back piece are moving forwards and the front piece are moving backwards, but you can get that tension between the pieces that you don't really, you know, if you close a block with some tension. So you can see here's a bit spread out. The move then to the random sprint of the 3 randoms, PCF, can be quite tricky. And that was BE Air Force. So close of block 16 there on the slow-mo to the P. There you go. So the important thing about it is that we can probably see this from the teams that are coming up. They're not the fastest flying teams, is to be on and off the grips at the same time for the random sprint that you've got, and to make sure that you don't have too much energy in the close of block 16. As I said, it's a shortish block. You know, it's only 180s for both pieces, so it's a slot switcher, albeit, so it can be confusing for those non-trained teams. Here we go, close of the 16.
Les Four Crétins, 17 on round 1, 14 on round 2, Ray.
They're all very close, you know, these French teams, the 3 French teams that have come in. And vying out there with the Spanish teams are very close to each other as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how they all pan out after a few more rounds. Very close to each other. I imagine they're all, you know, to a couple of rounds around the 27 to 30 mark. So yeah, around that, anywhere between that 14 to 15 average. And go, these guys have got a little bit more energy to them. That's interesting because I'm thinking I was seeing a little bit of the player coach in some of these teams as well, and you can see that they don't want to push the team too hard. They want to fly at the team's pace, but also score those points.
Yeah. Next up, Spanish team Balak, and their scores, Ray, 15 on round 1, 16 on round 2, 31 points, currently tied with the Crétins on 31 each.
There you go. So these guys are concentrating. They do focus on, think, on some outdoor and indoor. They're a fun team to be around. I really like them, and I hope they continue to stay together. And they're just literally slowly ploughing away at getting the points on the board. You know, competition by competition. Great to see. Got matching helmet stickers now, though. That's good. There we go. Block 16 is all about, block 16 is all about timing. You know, it's making sure those 2 pieces meet without too much separation. And then the random sprint. It's a little bit of confusion there from the P to the C on the previous pages. Yeah, those 16 closes now you can see from Barak are getting quite wide. And they're out of time. So
Next up, out of 23 teams, currently in 19th place, the Herbivores and Nancy Palamiers. They're 17 on round 1, 15 round 2. Current score of 32 points.
Yeah, these are another, I keep saying it, another French team, but I think we should just have maybe we can get all of the French teams on a couch. We can build a pyramid and have a little chat with them all and find out how they all know each other.
Yeah, I like the
that's
sound of that.
I think we're going to do that.
Like a human Eiffel Tower.
Exactly. There you go. We should definitely do that. Yeah, so these guys are obviously, they didn't have their best round 3 from what I could see. They were definitely stronger in the previous rounds. So they're pulling it off now, which is good. I think they might also have a player coach in here in the green helmet. Not sure who it is, but has a very distinctive way of flying. I shall try and find out later. We'll probably find that of all the top French teams, there's a coach in every single one of these teams and just not aware of it. I shall make it my mission to find out for you by tomorrow. Nice flying. That's a good round. From the
Herbivores.
Herbivores Annecy Palamiers.
Next up at the bottom of the pack, on currently 23rd place, 13 points round 1, 14 points round 2. Tied actually with B Air Force, both on 27 points. It's Papier Mixto.
Yeah, so I just had a quick chat with these guys on the couch a little bit earlier. They've not really done that much training together. As you can tell, they're not launching anything linked into the tunnel. So they're just finding their feet. They're the second team next to Papeo Masculino, another military team. They are training. They are doing some training now in Madrid Fly, and hoping to continue do a few more competitions. They're going to compete at Spanish Nationals, but they also they're looking to do competitions outside in the rest of Europe as well. So it should be fun to see where they go and how they progress going forward. Nice close of the block 16. And here we go again. And there's a catch. Oh, just hindering it. If you're going to catch the block 16 early, you should make sure that you let the flyer pass through, which they're doing there. Fantastic. And they're out of time. That was a good round from Papeo Mixto.
Next. And next up in 37 points, tied with Papia Masculino with a 23 on round 1 and a 14 on round 2. Odin Parachute Systems currently in joint 16th place after 2 round scores.
They had an amazing round 1, 23. I saw them and I thought, these guys are really strong. And I think, I'm not sure if they had a few busts on round 2 and is probably a bit disappointed with their round 2 scores. Would have expected it to be a little bit stronger. So they're probably just going to slow it down a little bit. I did see on round 2 that there were some grips that didn't look very clean, and they weren't very synchronous, so that might have cost them. But flying well here. So you can see just on the 16, the front piece is slightly ahead of the back piece, which doesn't make for the nicest catch. No, they're getting better. It's getting stronger now. These guys are very, very good flyers. Lots of energy. They're moving fast, but they're on and off grips synchronously on this round, which they didn't quite have on round 2. There we go.
Yeah, that's a round finished. Next up, IFS Moscow. 47 points scored after 2 rounds, and a 25 on round 1 and a 22 on round 2, and that equaled the score from Amnesia on round 2. They also had a 22, but the 1 point in front of the French team, IFS Moscow.
These guys are they fill up the tunnel, but you can tell that they've been drilling the block techniques and the things that they're running. They're a well-trained team. Probably individually in their own personal skills, but also in this lineup as well. Here we go. Nice and tight. These block 16s. As we thought, this was it's 3 blocks and 3 randoms and a slot switching block, but it's not the longest of blocks. It's quite a short block 16. So this is going to be a pretty fast round. Very different to the previous round that people would have been watching at home. with a triple blocker. 3 randoms is always going to make it a lot of fun. So yeah, I just confirmed that actually, that they actually, Team Odin Parachute System actually got 7 busts on their round 2. So they would have been much further up the leaderboard, and it's a real shame to see that that they had that on round 2, but I'm sure they would have learnt from it. It looks like their round 4 was much stronger.
Pajama Pumas now are setting themselves up in the door, and they got a 14 on both round 1 and 2, so 28 points in total.
This is not bad for a team that really haven't done any AAA. They I think Leslie mentioned it before, they're literally just were completing in rookies like 2 or 3 years ago, and have now stepped up into AAA with Kate as a player coach. And it's great to see, they've got a lot of enthusiasm, they're very good flyers, and they're pulling it off, and it's good to see. Block 16 isn't the easiest block in the world for those learning, to make sure you manage the energy of both the back and the front piece, but especially for the back piece. It's good to see. Yeah, so there you go, Pajama Pumas.
All right, and that's their round finished now. Papia now for the team from Spain with a 19 on round 1, 18 on round 2, tied with 37 points with Odin Parachute Systems down in 16th place.
Yes.
They're next in the tunnel.
Team Papaya or Papaya Masculino, as well as they like to be known. So the number 1 team from the Papaya family, military team. They train alongside Papaya Mixto. Bit wide on the closes of those 16s. That's a bit better. That's nice. I mean, they're flowing now. They had it's just a bit sticky on the first page. But now they're pulling it together. Nicely ramping it up. It's nice to watch for those watching at home that have an interest in FS. It's you're getting a good variety of teams to watch here, but teams generally with very good technique. Recognizing the type of draw that the type of round that they've got. Approaching the triple blockers with the respect that they deserve. But here you have a round that has a little bit of gearing with a block and 3 randoms. So you definitely need to step up the pace a little bit for the 3 randoms. But then give the block the respect it deserves. And so for those watching at home, you can definitely see the different style of round to round.
Wimby Legion are next up. They're currently tied in 17th place on 39 points with Monaco. 21 on round 1 and an 18 on round 2, Ray.
That's good. Wimby Legion, they have Wimby Flyers, and I'm going to have to go and speak to all of the French teams to find out who's who. So it's like we have a new generation of Wimby Flyers. I think Wimby are holding indoor nationals, I think, for France, where they've got a competition coming up very soon. So it's good to see all of these flyers flying here.
Yeah, towards the end of March. 23rd is one of the dates it's going to be on. It's the Wind Games here in Ampura Brava, and it's the Wind Games outside as a Tramontana starts blowing down through the mountains here in Catalonia.
I'm really glad I brought my rig with me.
Mine's
I'm really
here too.
pleased.
Well, mine's here because I'm going skydiving in Belize. I'm load organising at the Blue Hole Boogie after this.
Oh, exciting.
Yes, indeed.
You've done that before though, right?
Yeah, 2011 for the first time. So there's less than 100 people have done that skydive. It's a very scary jump. I'm looking forward to it. Next up, Airheads. They're 48 points after 2 rounds. 26 points on round 1. 22 points on round 2. These bright red suits.
Oh, they're now the military team from Switzerland, and have been around, I think, since 2013, as Leslie's mentioned. But these guys are really strong flyers. They've trained well together, and they look like they're enjoying themselves now as well. Still not entirely convinced by red suits, but you know, it's a colour of Switzerland, so I can understand why they have it. And going really well here. There we go, the back piece keeping it nice and tight. And you can see here that when I say the back piece, it's the piece that's turning it forward on those 16s. And you can see if we go here, PCF to the top of the 16, you can just see the outside centre holding onto that grip for a little bit longer just to get the back piece going, and then they make sure that there's not too much separation between the two pieces. That is the team from Switzerland. Team Airheads. So next in we should have Team Echo Chamber. These guys are doing a nice close up there. And they're in. They'll be expecting to score well on this round, Team Echo Chamber. Nice, block 16s. They did get a bust on round 2. Not as many as the Odin Parachute System team did. 7 busts they got on that round 2. Here we go, Echo Chamber. Powering through. Nice tight block 16s. And getting faster and faster as the round progresses. Growing in confidence. Very close. Very close. Closes of the 16s. A bit of confusion there from PCF. It looks super fast, but it doesn't look like they're all on and off the grips at the same time. They look very confident with it, but I'm not entirely sure. The judges might give them every point there. We'll see. It's one of the things about randoms and random sprints is that, yes, you can fly particularly quickly, come on and off the grips very quickly, but you need to be very synchronous in how you fly it, come on and off the grips at the same time, so it makes it easy for the judges to judge it, make sure the grips are all shown, make sure all the points are shown, therefore the judges won't go back and slow things down. And next in we have Team Aerokart team, Team Monaco Aerokart Junior. There we go, slowing it down a little bit. So block 16 to the side body, Murphy to the open, PCF. There we go. They're a small team, but you can tell that, you know, that 16's getting quite big and there's probably a few levels in there, so the close makes it very tricky. If it's a bit stretched out as it is here, to move from the close of that 16 for the inside centre to then move on to the side body of the P. And they're out of time.
I was talking to them a little in my break. I said, are you going to stay together long enough to be world champions? They said, "Where?"
Oh. One word answer. Very
Yeah.
good. That's the Team Monaco Aerokart Junior team. So next in we have the team from Monaco. I am liking their new outfits. They look like they have purpose.
20 points on round 1, 19 on round 2 for Monaco.
And they're in. Launch the P into the tunnel. Got to be careful with that end of the 16 as we're seeing here. To building that sideway, that was much better. I feel like this round's all about inside centre a little bit, which is quite interesting. And the reason I say that is the close of that wasn't on there. Now there's confusion. Keep going, guys, keep going. Don't stop. Dear. Outside and inside centre not having the best conversation there. They've just given up the ghost, I think. And moving on. I think we can safely say there'll be a few busts in that round from Team Monaco. We always used to say this when we'd do this in team training or when you're training as a team. It's like, if somebody misses a point, just keep moving on. There's no point in like even thinking about going backwards or holding it off. Next in, Team Jetmax.
Jetmax with an 18 on round 1, 18 on round 2. Very consistent, the Belgian team.
Slow and steady. This is a good way to see them. They say the same as well. You know, we're not necessarily going for pace. We're just going for nice, enjoying ourselves and just slowly, you know, making small increments in their average. Looking good here though. Nice first few pages for Team Jetmax. A little bit of separation on those 16s. It's very hard to let that block get away from you. You know, if you try and do too much in either piece, it can be quite tricky. You know, you need to make sure that it's team speed, but also you're not looking too much, and make sure that you remember that you are compressed with your piece partner. Team Jetmax. And they're out of time.
So you mentioned earlier Kath's rabbit.
Yes.
Well, I got a message through from Phil Curtis. The rabbit is called, do you know what the rabbit's called?
I can't remember.
Waffle.
Waffle!
You waffle the rabbit. Thanks, Phil.
Thanks for letting us know, Phil. Much appreciated. Glad you're watching at home. Next in, Team XL.
John MacGyver, just good shot of him there. That's game face on XL. 23 points on round 1, 20 points on round 2, 43 points in total.
This is a way of, you know, they're very light on the grips, and the whole team have that attitude, you know, don't take too much energy into anything. Make sure you're there, but, you know, and this is nice. You can see this on 16s, a little bit of separation again. You know, you can get excited, but there you go, bringing it back together. It's nice to see. As I said, this is a slot switcher, so these guys are making it look really, really easy. You know, you've got the front piece swapping in and out, so now you'll see the green helmet of Peter on the outside, and now you're going to see the green helmet of Peter Taff on the inside of the formation. So a switch between outside and inside centre. But they pulled that off really well, and a round of applause, I believe.
Next up, Golwarshi Wimby are going to be in the tunnel. They had a 25 on round 1, 21 on round 2, giving them a 46 points, and that's tied with Amnesia.
Yeah, they Team Gavroche, obviously they've been around for a long time, but you know, they've got Julien in there, just pushing them a little bit. But I don't think that they've not flown that much four-way recently in the tunnel at a high level, so it's good to see them fly. Nice. Yep, they're certainly pushing it now. There's a bit of a delay on the back piece on that page and the close the 16, but they're now. Well, that back. The 16 is all about, you know, front piece and back piece staying together, not having too much separation, and that's all about the input you're putting into it and to make sure that you can close it. So whatever input you're putting in, make sure you stop it. I'm sure that's the same for every block, but you know, it's pretty obvious to see here. They're doing a good job. Just had one glitch, so that's 16, about 4 pages ago, and they're out of time.
Out the goal, the end of their round 4. Some of the scores for round 3 are coming on the screen, but currently the full block of scores are for rounds 1 and 2. And 10-9, who could have had a bit of a mistake on the previous round, have stopped still with 3 seconds to go. They got a little bit confused, and we can see they're in next with a 21 on round 1 and a 19 on round 2.
So maybe they just saw some lights that they didn't really see.
Yeah.
Here we go. And they're taking that P into the tunnel virtually intact, and they're off. It's nice. Looks like from this camera angle that Marco's got green gloves on. Okay, they're getting faster and faster as the round progresses, but their 16s are suffering from that. The closes of the 16s are getting quite wide. Luckily, Marco's quite tall. And they're out of time.
Next up is going to be Team Amnesia, currently joined 13th place after the 2-round scores. Tied on 46 points with Gavois Wimby, 24 points on round 1, 22 points on round 2.
It's pretty good. Team Amnesia hoping for a big score on this one. I hope they have a good round, nice and clean. Just keep powering through. 3 randoms and a block. Should be good from them. And they're in. Nice. Nice block 16.
Look at them go, eh? This is on fire.
Really good block 16s. Fantastic to see. Super fast. Very little energy carried in. It's like
Wow.
watching Hayabusa.
Yeah.
Good flying. It's getting a little bit untidy now. Yeah, slowing it down a little bit just to make sure they bring those 16s back in. Make sure they build the top of that side body in the P.
It's
There we
good
go.
four-way, Ray.
It is good four-way. Oh, they didn't have that close.
Do you think it was out of time?
No, I think that was in time. They just don't have the close.
Yeah.
It is what it is. They're going to get 1 or 2. They're pushing the pace, but they're happy with that. High fives all round.
All right, moving on now to the top of the pack. Let's have a look where we're going next with Riofly Sion. 53 points after the 2 rounds scored. 29 on round 1, 24 on round 2. 1 point above the Qatar Tigers, 2 points behind Airspeed.
Here we go. And they're in. This is good. Super fast. Ooh. They're very close on those P's, very high up on when inside centre's taking outside centre. Oh, there you go, that's better. Just on the grips, management of the grips. You're flying super fast sometimes, it's sometimes hard to ensure that you've got everything and everybody's on and off the grips at the same time. They're out of time.
All right, there they go. Riofly Sion with their interpretation of round 4. Qatar Tigers are going to be next. Now, 52 points, 1 point behind Riofly Sion. 27 points on round 1, 25 points on round 2. What they're going to bring us here? 53.
Oh, it's exciting.
52, sorry. 57, the top score so far. 59.
And I know we've only seen like 3 rounds of the Tigers competing, but I think they're really suffering from not having as much competition. They don't look as strong as I would have thought they would be. I saw them training and they look super strong, but I think they're finding it difficult just to break through a little bit more at the moment, and maybe that's because they're not getting the competition that they'd want. And they're probably suffering a little bit from those competition nerves again, being back in front of the lights. And you know what, that kind of part of me feels, it makes me really upset to see that happen. And I'd really like to see them step it up a little bit more and push through to, at one point we thought they're going to really push for that top spot, and hopefully we'll see that in years to come. Lovely guys though, flying really well.
Nice big round of applause from this appreciative audience as they finish off and make their way out of the tunnel. Arizona Airspeed are going to be next. They currently sitting on 55 points after the 2 rounds scored, 29 on round 1 and a 26 on round 2.
They had an excellent round 3. I was super impressed with that triple blocker. They're going to be full of confidence going into this one.
Especially after round 2 tying with Hayabusa, 26 points against 26 points.
Which is interesting, because some of these rounds, they're quite tight. You don't have too much room to get away. This is one of those where, You know, if one team makes a mistake, you know, gets a few busts here and there, some glitches with the pages, you know, the 16s don't close as you'd like them to, it can get away from you. So let's see what they're doing here. So far looks okay, a bit slow to begin with. It's pretty fluid so far. 16s, the closes look a little bit wide, which is making it a bit tricky. It's a real push. I mean, you can really see that the inside centre is really pushing the outside centre away on the top of the 16, which is an interesting way of doing it. I get that, but it just could be interesting in the sky. But I'm sure this is airspeed. I know they know what they're doing. That's a good round from them.
It's all formation skydiving here this morning, VFS and formation skydiving FS 4-way in the female category and the open category. Next in is going to be Hayabusa, currently sitting on 57 points after the 2 rounds scored. First round of 31 points and tying with airspeed on the second round with 26.
Here we go. Let's have a look. And they're in. Looks good so far. Nice tight 16s. Yeah, this is a
masterclass.
It is. I mean, on the last round, I said that airspeed were faster, and maybe they've dialed those blocks, you know, with the 19, the 2, and the 17s. But on the block technique side, I think Hayabusa definitely have those 16s now, and random sprint is a random sprint, so they definitely look the stronger team here. So I can't go for any busts that might happen, but just from team speed, they definitely, this is masterclass, as you say. It's super fast, super fun to watch, and a big round of applause. Yeah, they're pleased with that. Smiles all round. Good job, Hayabusa.
Yeah, great performance there. It's 11:45 coming up on lunchtime here in Ampura Brava at Window with the Wing Games 2018. We were live to the world this morning just after 8 a.m. and it's going to be 14 hours of live presentation right through till late in the evening tonight. Let's have a look at what's coming up today for the rest of the program. Next up, we have more of the formation skydiving. We're going to be going through with that actually right through until 5 to 2 this afternoon, 13:55, where we start with the junior freestyle compulsory round 1, then 14:27 the 2-way knockout groups, then 16:58 freestyle open compulsories round 1, 17:42 solo speed, 19:14 junior freestyle free round with music, 19:55 the 4-way speed, 20:49. Can you believe we're going that late, Ray?
I know, it's great.
Freestyle open, and then 21:47 2-way dynamic. But the action right now is still with the formation skydiving with Ray Hamed and expert presentation. What do you think of that last round you've seen?
I think Hayabusa had that round over SBs. I'm going to put my neck out again and definitely say they had one. It was great. It was great to see across all of the teams flying that round, which is a different gearing to the previous round. I think everybody did it really well.
Great. Well, we'll be back with more live action back here at Wing Games 2018 very shortly.